The NATO Troublemaker eyes BRICS, experts weigh the pros and cons of Turkey's membership. Turkey has expressed interest in joining BRICS, a topic set to be discussed at the upcoming meeting of the Commonwealth's foreign ministers in Nizhny Novgorod. What could prompt a NATO member, which has been in line for EU membership for decades, to seek closer ties with BRICS, and what could be the implications? During his visit to China, Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan announced Ankara's desire to join BRICS. This matter will be on the agenda at the Foreign Ministers' meeting in Nizhny Novgorod on June 10 to 11. Fidan pointed out that some European countries oppose Turkey's EU accession, leading Turkish authorities to consider BRICS as an alternative platform for integration. According to Fidan, Turkey cannot ignore the fact that BRICS, as an important platform for cooperation, offers other countries a good alternative. He emphasized that we see potential in BRICS. It's worth noting that Turkey is a NATO member and part of a customs union with the European Union. Almost 4 decades ago, Turkey applied to join what was then the European Economic Community, and in 1999, it was officially recognized as a candidate for full EU membership. However, the negotiations that began in 2005 have long been stalled due to various contentious issues, including human rights concerns and foreign policy disagreements. In recent years, Western allies have repeatedly criticized Ankara for its ties with Moscow. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told journalists that Russia welcomes the growing interest in BRICS but noted that the organization is unlikely to satisfy the interests of all interested countries. According to RIA Novosti, Peskov emphasized that BRICS is keen on maintaining contacts with all interested states. Various formats are currently being considered to sustain this contact, Peskov said. BRICS is a coalition of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, Egypt, and Iran. This year, Russia is chairing BRICS and will host the 16th Summit of the Commonwealth in Kazan in October. In previous years, BRICS summits have been held in Ekaterinburg and Ufa. According to the New Development Bank, BRICS countries will account for 35% to 40% of global GDP by 2028, while the G7's share is expected to drop to 27.8%. Countries with diverse political and economic systems can join BRICS, and such a decision is made by consensus among all members. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov stated last week that the only requirement is to work based on the key principle of sovereign equality of states, which our Western colleagues struggle with. Lavrov highlighted that nearly 30 countries have expressed a willingness to enhance their cooperation with BRICS in one form or another by submitting formal applications. These countries include Algeria, Bangladesh, Bahrain, Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Honduras, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Morocco, Nigeria, Palestine, Senegal, Thailand, Venezuela, and Vietnam. In April, Lavrov, following talks with Bolivian Foreign Minister Chelinda Sosa, announced Russia's support for Sucre's bid to join BRICS. Experts generally agree that Turkey's entry into BRICS would further strengthen economic ties with Commonwealth countries. BRICS offers large and capacious markets where Turkish products have long been welcome. Turkish goods, fruits, and construction companies are widespread in Russia. A similar situation exists in other countries. Therefore, purely from an economic perspective, Turkey should definitely join BRICS, says economist Ivan Lizin. BRICS is an informal club, with each country having its own interests. What unites them is a shared fatigue with the G7 and the US, a desire to build an effective organization and play by understandable rules, the expert continued. If the parties do not oppose Turkey, BRICS will expand by one more country. Russia will not object, as there are quite functional relations between the two states. According to Lizin, neither India nor China should oppose Turkey's membership, despite the Uyghur issue. Fidan is, after all, set to visit them too. There should be no objections to Turkey joining BRICS. The fact that a NATO member country is eager to join an anti-American alliance is surprising in itself. Turkey is interested in selling its goods, not playing geopolitics. And any increase in tensions between a country and the US or the EU benefits us, the speaker added. Experts believe that Ankara's desire to join BRICS elevates the status of the format. However, the country could withdraw from joining at any moment, as Argentina did after cancelling its membership application following a change of president. As long as membership criteria for BRICS are not fully developed, the question of Turkey's admission to the Commonwealth remains complex. A long-term solution might involve fixing the number of permanent BRICS members and admitting newcomers in a BRICS Plus format, notes Stanislav Kachenko, professor at the Department of European Studies at the Faculty of International Relations of St. Petersburg State University and an expert at the Valdai Club. According to him, the ideal condition for Turkey's entry into BRICS would be the country's exit from NATO, but the Turks, it seems, won't agree to that. Optimists believed that BRICS could evolve from a forum into a full-fledged intergovernmental organization with a charter and a secretariat. But Turkey's membership would show that BRICS will remain an Eastern model forum like APEC, which isn't great for those who believed the forum had an institutional future, noted the political scientist. The expert also suggested that Turkey's talk of joining BRICS might be another attempt to bargain with Europe, which is in no hurry to invite Ankara into the EU. Turkey, as a major power and civilization state, doesn't intend to cling to any international organization. In NATO, it is, as they say, an enfant terrible, not the most loyal member. So, the statement about wanting to join BRICS reflects the general trend of Turkey's multi-vector foreign policy over recent decades. Erdogan sees that the West is weakening, so he is diversifying his ties, including with BRICS countries, Kachenko explained. Moreover, BRICS has no stipulations about new members' participation in other organizations. India, for instance, is developing close military cooperation with the US. Therefore, Turkey's NATO membership doesn't prevent the country from joining BRICS because the Commonwealth attracts other countries by not having ultimatum demands and by being predominantly economic in nature, adds political scientist Yuri Svetov. The expert agrees that Ankara wants to leverage its statements about joining BRICS as a bargaining chip with the EU. Turkey has been in line for EU membership for decades and understands that it is not wanted there. I wouldn't rule out that this is a method of blackmail and pressure on the EU. If you don't accept us, we'll go to BRICS, the speaker emphasized. Svetov also believes that Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan does not adhere to any specific foreign policy course but instead looks for opportunities to strengthen Turkey in foreign policy and economics. Erdogan is a trader. He trades where it is profitable. Turkey's main advantage is its geographical position at the junction of Europe and Asia, making it a connecting link between two great continents. Therefore, Turkey's membership in BRICS, if it happens, could strengthen the organization, which would be beneficial for Russia, Svetov explained.